Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling centrality
Ooh,
in network analysis.
right.
But I promise it's way more interesting than it might sound.
Yeah.
We're really talking about
Right.
how do we figure out what matters in this interconnected world?
Exactly.
So we're talking about those social media influencers that are shaping online trends or the most important links in a supply chain
Yeah.
or even how a virus might spread.
Right.
And the cool thing is you've given us a ton of material
Yeah.
to dig into.
Yeah,
We've got some academic papers,
an academic
documentation from Neo4j's Graph Data Science Library, even some YouTube lectures
Oh, yeah.
from those brilliant folks over at TU Dresden.
That's quite a mix.
It is.
But that's what makes it so interesting, right?
Yeah.
We get to take all these different perspectives
Right.
and try to distill it down
Exactly.
into something useful for you.
So before we get to the who's important part,
Right.
let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What do we even mean
Right.
when we say a network
Mhm.
in this context? I know we've talked about knowledge graphs
Yeah.
in previous deep dives.
Right.
And so I'm kind of wondering
Sure.
how do those two relate?
So think of a network
Okay.
as a map of connections.
All right.
And the nodes on this map are the players.
Okay.
And that could be people, places,
Yeah.
organizations, anything you can think of.
Okay.
And then the links are the relationships between them.
Right.
So in a social network, you and I and our friends,
Yeah.
we're the nodes.
Okay.
And our friendships are the links.
Okay.
Right. Now, knowledge graphs take this a step further.
Okay.
They add context to those connected.
Okay.
So instead of just saying,
Okay.
John is linked to Mary,
Yeah.
it might say, John is the father of Mary. So it's that extra layer of meaning
I see.
that makes knowledge graphs so powerful.
So a network shows the connection.
Right.
A knowledge graph tells us what it means.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And both are really crucial
Okay.
for understanding how information
Yeah.
flows through that network. But let's get back to your original question.
All right.
What makes a particular node important?
Right.
And that's where centrality comes in.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we all knew who the popular kids were in high school,
Yeah,
but
correct.
in this complex network,
Yeah.
how do we actually measure that?
So centrality measures aim to do just that.
Okay.
But there's a catch.
Okay.
There is no single definition of importance.
Gotcha.
It depends what you're looking for.
Okay.
A node that's really important
Yeah.
for spreading information might not be the most important.
Okay.
For controlling resources,
Right.
for example.
Can you give me an example of how that plays out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Think about a supply chain.
Okay.
The nodes representing the sources of the raw materials, they might be super important
Okay.
in terms of what flows out from them.
Right, because without those materials,
Can't make it.
the whole chain breaks down.
Right.
But on the web,
Okay.
a highly cited website is
Yeah.
important because of all the attention flowing into it.
Yeah.
It's a completely different
Totally
different
different.
importance.
Yeah, and it reminds me of how Wikidata uses
Yeah.
that side links count. It's like a quick and dirty
Right.
popularity score
Exactly.
based on how many other pages link back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of
Yeah.
how even a basic centrality measure can be useful.
Okay.
But there's a whole spectrum
Yeah.
of these measures,
Right.
each with its own way of
Okay.
defining importance.
I'm ready to dive in. All right, let's do it.
What's first?
Let's start with the most straightforward
Huh.
degree centrality.
Ooh.
Essentially a popularity contest.
Okay.
Node with the most connections wins.
So, the influencer with, millions of followers,
Exactly.
high degree centrality.
Exactly.
But, most things in life,
yeah,
I'm sure there's some caveats.
there are. Degree centrality only looks at the number
Okay.
of connections,
Mm-hmm.
not their quality
Property.
or influence.
Right. And it's easily manipulated.
And it's easily manipulated.
Right. You could just make a bunch of fake accounts
We got it.
to boost your...
Think about all those fake social media accounts.
Right.
I
Exactly.
see.
So someone
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
artificially inflate
Yeah.
their
That-
degree centrality by creating a bunch of
Exact-
fake followers.
Precisely.
Okay.
That's why we have other measures,
Okay.
like eigenvector centrality.
Okay.
It considers not just how many connections a node has, but also the quality of those connections.
Okay. So now we're talking,
Right.
how do we measure
Yeah.
the quality of a connection?
Imagine you're taking a random walk through the network,
Mm-hmm.
following the links at random. Eigenvector centrality reflects the probability
Okay.
of you landing on a particular node.
Okay.
And that probability is heavily influenced
Okay.
by the importance of the nodes
I see.
you can reach from that point.
So a connection to a really important node
Exactly.
boosts your centrality, even if you yourself
Yeah.
don't have that many connections.
Think about trying to get a meeting
Okay.
with the CEO of a company. Connecting with the CEO's assistant,
Okay.
who's always by their side,
Yeah.
is a much better strategy
Yeah.
than trying to reach the CEO directly
Right. Or through some random employee.
for some random employee.
Yeah, that's a brilliant analogy.
Right.
It makes a lot more sense now. Are there any potential issues with eigenvector centrality?
There's one key assumption.
Okay.
The network needs to be strongly connected,
Okay.
meaning you can get from any node to any other node.
Okay, so like all the roads are interconnected?
Exactly. Think of it like a map
Yeah.
where all the roads are interconnected.
Got it.
If you have dead ends,
Okay.
nodes with no outgoing links,
Okay.
or spider traps, structures where you get stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
Eigenvector centrality gets a bit wonky.
So like those roundabouts that you get stuck in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need a clear path
Okay.
for eigenvector centrality
Gotcha.
to make sense.
Okay.
And speaking of clear paths,
Yeah.
that brings us to a measure
Okay.
you might have heard of.
Okay, PageRank.
PageRank.
You got it.
That's how
Got
Google
that.
became the king of search.
You
right?
got it.
Yeah.
PageRank is a specialized version
Okay.
of eigenvector centrality. Cleverly designed. Okay.
For networks like the web,
Right.
where links have a clear direction
Yeah.
from one page to another,
Okay.
it considers not only the number of links
Yeah.
pointing to a page,
Mm-hmm.
but also the weight of those links.
So it's not just about who's linking to you. It's
Right.
also about how important those people are.
Exactly, that are linking to you.
A link from a major news site
Yeah,
gives your page rank a much bigger boost
right.
than a link from some random blog.
Okay,
It's like a weighted popularity contest
gotcha.
with Google as the ultimate judge.
Okay, so we've covered degree centrality,
Yeah.
eigenvector centrality,
Mm-hmm.
and PageRank.
Mm-hmm.
What other ways are there?
Yeah, what other importance
Fascinating ways are there to measure importance?
in a network?
Let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about closeness centrality.
Ooh.
This one measures a node's average distance
Okay.
to all the other nodes in the network.
So a node with high closeness centrality
Yeah,
is essentially close to everything else. It's like a central transportation hub.
exactly.
Yeah?
Think about how that applies to something like the spread of a virus.
Oh, okay.
A node with high closeness centrality
Mm-hmm.
could potentially spread a disease
Yeah,
very quickly
because it's so well connected.
because it's so connected
Yep.
to other nodes.
Or on a more positive note, it
Yeah.
could be a really strategic location
Yeah.
to distribute
Right.
important goods or services.
They're getting it.
Yeah.
And as with other centrality measures, there
Yeah.
are variations like harmonic centrality
Okay.
that are a bit more robust
Mm-hmm.
when you're dealing with networks
Yeah.
that aren't fully connected.
Right, because not every network is perfectly interconnected.
Exactly.
Speaking of bridging connections,
Yeah.
does that bring us to between Ross centrality?
You're on a roll.
Okay.
Between ROSA centrality
Yep.
is all about a node's ability
Okay.
to act as a bridge
Okay.
between other nodes.
Okay.
It measures how often a node lies on the shortest path
Mhm.
between other nodes
Okay.
in the network.
So like that friend who knows everyone
That's a great way to put it.
from different social circles.
Yeah.
They have high Betornius centrality
You do.
and probably a lot of influence because of it.
Exactly.
I saw.
And we even saw an example
Yeah.
in one of the articles
Okay.
about a manager
Okay.
who was intentionally trying to boost
Okay.
between nadness centrality
Okay.
within their company
Okay.
by encouraging cross-departmental
Oh, yeah.
power breakfasts.
That's so fascinating.
Right.
So like understanding these centrality measures
Yeah.
can actually inform real world.
Absolutely.
Please.
It's about more than just
Yeah.
identifying important nodes.
Yeah.
It's about understanding
Yeah.
how information and influence
Yeah.
flow through a network.
Okay.
And that knowledge can be applied to everything
Yeah.
from shaping corporate culture to
Mhm.
optimizing communication networks.
Wow. I'm starting to see
Right.
how powerful this concept is.
Yeah.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
We've really just scratched the surface.
Okay, so we've explored a bunch of these centrality measures, degree eigenvector, page rank closeness between us. My mind is officially blown.
Good.
It's incredible how each of those measures highlights something different about what importance even means.
In a network. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And the real magic happens.
Yeah.
When you start applying these measures to the real world.
So it's not just
we're not just
geeking out
talking theory here
about networks on a whiteboard. Give me some concrete examples of how this.
Let's start with something. You're probably familiar with social networks.
Okay.
Imagine you're a marketer.
Okay.
Trying to launch a new product.
Okay.
You could blindly target everyone. Or you could use centrality measures.
Okay.
To identify the key influencers.
Okay, so instead of just looking at who has the most followers, I want to find...
You want to find the people?
The people who can actually...
They can actually make the product go viral.
Make it go viral, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And centrality isn't just for marketing gurus.
Okay.
Think about epidemiology.
Okay.
Understanding how diseases spread.
Right.
Remember closeness centrality.
Yeah.
A person with high closeness centrality in a social network could be a potential super spreader.
Right. Yeah.
During an outbreak.
So public health officials could use that information.
Absolutely.
To target interventions.
And try to contain the spread.
Contain it.
More effectively.
It's almost like...
Centrality gives you like a cheat sheet.
To
figure out.
To understand.
The weak points.
The weak points.
In a network.
And the leverage points.
That's
a really insightful way to put it.
Yeah, it's not just...
And it's not just about
containing threats.
Yeah. Centrality can also be used to optimize systems and make them more efficient.
Okay, how so?
Think about identifying critical infrastructure points in a power grid.
So if a certain power station has high betweenness centrality, knocking it out could disrupt
disrupt a huge area.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Okay.
By understanding which nodes are most vulnerable, you can make targeted investments to strengthen those connections and make the whole grid more resilient.
So it's like fortifying the bridges.
Exactly.
Or the transportation hubs.
That's a great analogy in the network.
Yeah.
Okay.
To make it more resilient.
Wow. It's amazing how these mathematical concepts can be applied to.
Yeah, it highlights the need for collaboration.
Right. It's not just...
But it's math nerds.
Sitting around.
Network scientists. Engineers, policymakers.
Right. Because a complex problem,
they all...
like a financial meltdown.
Need to work together.
Or infrastructure failure.
To understand and manage systemic risk.
It's going to require everyone to be on the same page.
Look at things in isolation.
You can't just be like, oh, well, this one power station is fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just...
You need to look at the...
Focus on individual nodes. You need to understand the interconnectedness of the whole system.
And the role that centrality plays.
And the crucial role centrality plays.
You know, this reminds me of something you said earlier about considering multiple centrality measures.
Different measures can reveal different aspects of a node's importance.
Right.
Providing a more holistic picture.
So a node might have 5 degrees centrality. But low.
It might.
Low betweenness centrality.
You might have low betweenness centrality.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Analyzing multiple measures gives you a 360-degree view of a node's importance.
Like we've been given.
Rather than just a snapshot from one angle.
This incredible set of lenses to look at the world.
Right.
Centrality lets us
also see beneath the surface.
And understand
the hidden dynamics of networks.
Yeah.
And you can use that knowledge to make a real difference.
Correct.
Designing more resilient systems, anticipating potential crises.
Yeah.
And shaping a better future.
This deep dive has been a journey.
It has been a real journey.
We started with what seemed like a really dry topic.
Yeah.
Centrality and network analysis. And
we ended up exploring
all
those fascinating applications.
Yeah, it was really fascinating.
Impact our lives.
Applications that impact our lives in all these
profound ways.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning.
It is.
Really.
Yeah.
The more we understand about how our world is connected, the better equipped we are to navigate its complexities and make informed decisions.
This has been awesome.
It has.
I feel like we should do another deep dive on this.
We should.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Let's talk about systemic risk.
Okay.
This is where centrality becomes absolutely crucial.
All right.
Imagine a network where if one single node fails, it triggers a cascade of failures.
Okay.
That could potentially bring down...
like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
One toppling domino sets off a chain reaction.
Where might we see that happen?
You see it in all sorts of systems. Financial markets, power grids, even ecosystems. Think about what happens. If a major bank collapses, it can trigger a financial crisis that ripples through the entire economy. Or if a key power station goes offline, it could cause a widespread blackout.
So if I'm understanding this right, a node with high centrality, whether it's degree, betweenness, or whatever, is a potential...
like a potential weak point. That we need to watch carefully.
Watch it.
By identifying those critical nodes, whose failure could pose the greatest risk to the system. We can start to develop strategies to mitigate.
So it's like fortifying
exactly
the key bridges or transportation hubs.
That's a great analogy.
To make it more resilient.
And this approach is being used in so many fields.
Like where?
Financial regulators use stress tests to assess the vulnerability of banks to economic shocks. Cybersecurity experts focus on protecting critical systems that are most likely to be targeted by hackers.
It's really interesting how all this math we've been talking about actually gets applied to...
It really highlights the need...
these like real-world challenges.
For collaboration between people from different fields.
Like who?
Network scientists. Engineers. Policymakers.
Right, because a complex problem.
They all need to work together.
Like a financial meltdown.
To understand and manage systemic risk.
Everyone to kind of be on the same page.
Look at things in isolation.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, this one power station's fine.
Exactly.
It's not connected to anything.
That's not enough to just focus on individual nodes.
A whole system.
You need to understand the interconnectedness of the whole system.
And the role that centrality plays.
And the crucial role
in all
centrality plays in determining its overall resilience.
You know, this reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about considering multiple centrality measures.
Absolutely. Different measures can reveal different aspects of a node's importance, providing a more holistic picture.
So like one node might have high degree centrality, but low betweenness centrality.
It might have low betweenness centrality.
Because it's got all these connections.
Exactly.
Like it's not actually
analyzing multiple measures.
Bridging anything.
Gives you a 360-degree view.
Yeah, it's like we've been given
of a node's importance.
This incredible set of lenses.
Rather than just a snapshot from one angle.
To look at the world in a whole new way. Centrality helps us see.
It helps us
beneath the surface.
See beneath the surface.
And understand
the hidden dynamics.
Hidden dynamics of all these networks. That's really cool.
And you can use that knowledge to make a real difference. Designing more resilient systems. Anticipating potential crises. Shaping a better future.
Wow, this has been a real journey.
It has.
We started with what seemed like a really dry topic, centrality and network analysis, and we ended up
exploring all these fascinating applications.
All these fascinating
impact our lives.
Applications that impact our lives. In all these profound ways.
In profound ways.
I feel like this is just the beginning.
It is. Just the beginning.
For centrality journey.
Really?
Really.
The more we understand about how our world is connected, the better equipped we are to navigate its complexities. And make informed decisions.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Into centrality.
Very fun.
To all you listeners out there, thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.
Keep on learning.
We'll see you next time.
And exploring